Flano, you elaborated a bit on the pride you had in the players and that performance on the weekend. Can you tell us a bit, now the dust has settled, what that performance meant to you to see the players fight to the end and really give themselves a chance to win that?
Yeah, well, I've seen it numerous times this year, but under different circumstances. We lost obviously the three boys in pretty quickly, HIAs. So I haven't seen that too often. We've probably been down to one on the bench, but not three HIAs in that short period of time. So I just saw it away against a pretty settled New Zealand Warriors side. We could have just turned it up type of thing, but we just fought really hard and we're in the game right to the end.
Is that, I guess, a bit of validation of what you're building here and the players you brought in are having an impact on the squad and the tenacity they've got? Yeah,
well, the players are starting to understand what we're about, what sort of DNA we are or we want. So it's really important. Sometimes it does take some time to embed that in the way they play, their mentality, but we're getting there.
One of those players out with HIA is Hamish Stewart. That's his third one, I think, for the season. Is that likely he won't play again this season?
No, we'll assess it as it goes along. He's only a young fella and he's had a really good year. But we've got to make sure that he's right. It's week one. I wouldn't think that he'd play next week, but Hamish wants to play. He wants to play tomorrow. We'll just assess it as it goes along, and we'll make sure that it's the best interest of Hamish.
The players coming in, because obviously the depth has been tested, and a lot of players are out injured.
Yep.
The guys coming in, is that an opportunity for them to say, look, I want to be,
stay in the team all the time. Yeah, definitely. A lot of those young boys, particularly let's say Lyan, he's played 2/3 of the season, and he's done a good job, and he's starting to realise that he's an NRL player, and it's a tough job in the halves. And then we just spoke about Hamish. He's played some good football for long periods of time. And, Jacob Hallengar, who gets an opportunity. There's been heaps of them during the year. So hopefully that with, some of them have got 2 or 3 games, some of them have got more, that the taste that they have drives them in the off-season into next year about, hey, I want more of this and I want to be in that starting team.
How impressed have you been with Lykins' form? He seems to be able to take the line on a lot more now, and he just seems to, especially down that left edge, just take on the line. And when he does, he almost always makes a break. But
yeah, there's probably a little bit of an untold story about not just Lyan at, I think it was maybe the week of Canberra or maybe the week of the Sharks. We've had some injuries, long-term injuries, season-ending injuries, but we had at least 4 or 5 players that needed painkillers to play, rib injuries, and Lykins been one of those, and I'm not one to sort of play players, especially young ones that need painkillers to play, but he's done it and hasn't, hey, I'm ready to play, hasn't sort of complained about can't train or I'm not ready to play because of the injury. He's just got on with it, and so that shows great courage and determination and the type of attitude that we want. So he's done it under difficult circumstances for a while. I think he's over that now, like it's been 3 or 4 weeks. So had a bit of a rough patch there for a while defensively, but he's a tough kid, so defence shouldn't, it'll come to him.
And the Rabbitohs this weekend, they're bringing back some heavy artillery and Keon. And Jairo's coming back as well. How do you shut them down? And what are you trying to get out of these last couple of games?
I'll continue what we've been doing, and I think South, they compete hard. They're always in the game. They've lost some football games like we have, but 2 sides going out there with a lot of excuses for why not. It's really important for us we talk about the what for, or why we want to continue to play. So South got some players coming back, but we'll put 17 good ones out there as well.
You mentioned Lyan, obviously he's developed really well. Daniel Atkinson coming to the club next year.
Yep.
Club's still on the lookout for another half.
Well, look, we're in the market for quality players. Whether it's another half, I'm not quite sure. We had a crack at Adam Dewey, which was well publicised. That didn't work for us, so we'll just see how it goes. We're comfortable where we are. Daniel Anderson's looking after all that stuff now, so it's a bit of a load off my mind. We're in good shape. We're in real good shape moving forward, but we've got to make sure that we finish the season off well.